Hey guys, Dan here with another episode of our August game of the month. This is episode 3 and of our Cannon Assault game. So, real quick, the last two videos were actually meant to be one giant video, about 35-minute long video. But unfortunately, I can't edit anything that large on my desktop. So, until I either get a less CPU intensive program or I'm going to update my computer hopefully soon, I'll be able to do that so we'll have longer videos instead of the shorter ones like I wanted. Editing such a large 1080p video is pretty rough on my machine, at least. It's kind of old. So sorry about that. So what I'm going to do is just try to release more shorter videos. I'll try not to cut them up. If I have to cut them up again, I apologize in advance. You'll just have to deal with it. Because I like to record. I'll record for an hour and a half and then cut it up in smaller bits. But we'll see. I'll try not to do that. But last time we left off. Just going to jump right into it. Last time we left off, we had created menu items. When you clicked them, it told us what we're going to be doing. So we're going to continue on with that, but we're going to jump in and start doing GUI Styles and Skins. I had a comment about asking how to do them, and so I'll cover them. They're very simple. We're going to go ahead and do two. I'm going to show you what they are. We're going to do a public GUI skin, and we'll call it menu skin, and then we'll do public GUI style, and we'll call it menu style. So the most simple description I can give of these is that a skin holds a whole bunch of styles, and then a style is just one separate thing. So I'm going to go ahead and click main camera, and you can see I already assigned the menu style, so it's already here, and it allows us to do font. It allows us to add textures and things to whichever object that it's applied to. So you can apply this style to a text box, to a button, to anything. Most GUI on GUI functions, most on GUI functions like button, text field, text box, toggle, all those have a variable that you can apply called that takes a GUI skin or a texture or GUI content is what it's called, and you can apply that style there. A GUI skin, like I was just talking about, allows you to have multiple styles and allows you to assign a general. Say you have text fields that are everywhere in your game. You can assign one. You don't have to continuously assign styles to all those individual text fields. You can just say the skin will handle all of that. So what you do for skin is, and that's what we're going to use because it's a little more advanced. Not too much, but it has a lot more. We're going to go ahead and create a folder. We're going to call it GUI Skins. We only need one for now. Again, I hit create. I'm going to add a GUI skin. We're going to call it menu skin. Under menu skin, here's the skin. Up in the inspector, you can see that this is where you can do everything you want with the box, the buttons, the toggles, the labels, everything. Everything that Unity has to offer for GUIs, you can do it here. And then here are your custom styles. And by default, it starts out with 1. This is the size of how many holds. We're going to add 2. We're just going to have 2, so we'll have 0 and 1. We're going to go ahead and rename this to menu. And this is where we're going to add textures and stuff to create our buttons. We're not going to have any textures now, and I'm only going to apply this one style to one to our play button because I don't have any buttons set up yet, and maybe I'll make a quick video later of me making some buttons in Inkscape that will be added onto this. But for now, I'm just going to show you by changing the color that it's actually working. Excuse me. So I'm going to go ahead and save. I'm going to go to our main camera. Again, excuse me, and I'm going to drag and drop our menu skin to our public variable called menu skin. Controls to save. We're going to go back into mono develop. I'm in our main menu GUI script, by the way, and I'm going to go ahead and delete this style because we don't need that style. Control S. We still have our skin, which is perfect. Now go in our main menu GUI functions, and if you remember, we created this function last time. It's display menu buttons. Unfortunately, we can't access our public variable we just made. So what we're going to do is this function, display main menu buttons, is going to now take a GUI skin, and we're going to call it, or the GUI style. Go GUI style It's going to take a GUI style, and we're going to call it menu style. If I can spell. Okay. So now, all these take a menu style. And what we're going to do for this play button, like I said, we're just going to do the play button today. As you see, it takes a position, GUI content, which in this case is our string, player button title, and then it takes a GUI style. And we're going to use menu style. Control to save, and go back into menu GUI, and now where we call this function display main menu buttons, we need to send it a style. So we're going to go ahead and write menu skin dot get style, and in parentheses you're going to type the style that, or the style name, and in this case I think we did menus or menu. Let me double check. Go to our skin. I called it menu, so we're going to go ahead and do menu, control save, and now what we're doing here is we're calling this script to call this function, and then we're going to say send it the skin, the style menu from the skin menu skin. Control to save. We'll go back into Unity, and we should have updated everything. Yep, we don't have any errors. We have a couple warnings, but that's okay. You see our skins here? I'm going to go ahead and press play, and it's going to eliminate the button. Now the button's still here. You can see I'm clicking it. It's just there's no texture assigned to it. Once you apply a style or skin, it's going to immediately eliminate the base textures that Unity uses for its buttons. That's why I wanted to keep it how it is for now. So you can see I can click on it. It's still telling me what it is. It's still saying, you know, play game. And just to show you how it's working, I'm going to go ahead and in our menu skin, I'm going to change the text color to red. You can see it changing. Look here, as the play game changes, or as I change around colors, play game changes. And this is how GUI skin works. And actually what you can do is we can make it black for now. We'll do normal. Let's change our hover color. So when we hover, it changes to blue, green, changes to green. And then when it's active, which I believe is when you click, we'll make it red. Oh. I think it's on hover, on focus. Let's see, on hover. Maybe not. This might only apply when you actually have textures, but I don't think so. I don't know. Should work. Focus, let's see, we'll change this one to red. We can learn. I think this is because it's the text color. We want that black, so that's normal. Yeah, so basically I think that comes down to the hover and stuff. It will change. I don't think it can tell that we're hovering over it, maybe. Maybe the cursor's too tiny. But when you add a actual texture here, I don't think I have any. Yeah, we don't have any textures imported yet. But when you do, you can see it, and it'll change the text color when you do that. But anyways, you can also change the font. So you can change the font. I don't think I only have Arial installed, so we'll change it to Arial, which it already is at default Arial. Anyways, that's the style. You can see that the button still works. So that's what we wanted. Now what we're gonna do is jump into our main menu functions. Instead of we're gonna keep these debug statements, but we're gonna actually change. We're gonna start adding some code. So we're gonna go application. When we hit play, we want to go into our game. So we want to go to the scene. So we're gonna go application.load level, and this takes a string. And the string is going to be our play scene. And I think I just labeled it play scene. I'll have to double check. Go into Unity. It's called play scene. So there we go. Gonna comment loads play scene. If we go in our menu GUI, there's a couple things I want to do. We want to add another state. We're going to call it a we'll do high scores. This is gonna, so now when we change when we click the high scores button, we're gonna stay in the same scene, so we're not gonna load a different level, but we're gonna change what we see. And what I mean by that is we're going to have another if statement, and we're actually probably gonna change this to a case switch. if it gets too much larger. We'll go current menu state is going to be equal to menu states dot high scores. And in this, we're not going to be displaying our main menu GUI functions. We're going to be displaying our high score functions, which we haven't made yet, but we'll do that soon. So now, what we want to do is change our current state. So when we click display high scores, we're going to say menu GUI dot, I believe I made current menu state. It's going to be equal to menu states, main menu, or menu GUI dot menu states dot high scores. Control to save. Go into Unit to see if we have any errors. We're still playing. We don't have any errors. So I'm going to show you when I click high scores, this should all go away, and it does. And now we're in the high score. We're still in the same scene, but we're in the high score area where we can have our functions. So under menus, we're going to create a new folder. We're going to call it high scores. We're going to create a new C# script. We're going to call it high scores GUI functions. Open that up in MonoDevelop. It's going to take a second. It's there. If you remember what we did up here, we have a private variable that accesses this script. So this is object-oriented program. So we're going to go private high scores GUI functions dot high scores GUI functions. We're going to set that equal to a new instance of that script. Control to save, and we're going to copy the same structure that we did here. So we're going to delete this. We don't need any of this. We don't need to inherit from auto behavior because we're not using it. So we're going to go public void. We're not going to send anything for now, and we're going to go display high score. What do we have on here? We're going to say display high score. We'll say objects for now. I don't really like that, but it'll be alright for now. So in this, what we need on our display high scores, I don't want to call it scene, but view, we need a title. We need high scores, and we need a back button. And you know what? We'll actually even add a play button. Because why not? You shouldn't have to go all the way back to the main menu, right? So in display high score objects, what we'll do, we can create another function. We'll call it private void display high score buttons. This is just going to organize our code just a little bit more. Okay, let's create a few variables. We're going to create a private string. We'll call it high score title. Set that equal to high scores. Get another private string. I'm just going to go ahead and copy this whole thing. Paste, paste, paste. So now we need high score. I'm going to comment this one out just real quick. We're going to do high score. We're going to do back button title, kind of like we did last time, and then play button title. I'm just trying to do this as quickly as I can. Alright, so now we have play game. We're going to go back. Yeah. So here we have our two play buttons, which we're going to put down in this. So I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste this. We'll have to change it. Our GUI button, instead of play button title, is going to stay the same. We're not going to use a menu style here. We have a high score button. No, we have a back button though. So we're going to copy and paste that. Displays high scores. We don't need this. So here when we click the back button, right now we're going menu GUI, current menu state. We're setting the state to high scores. We actually want to set the state back to menu, main menu. Play the game's all gonna be the same. So we're gonna go ahead and Control S to save. What I did here is I created a function. Function handles displaying buttons and execution code for those buttons. And in our display high score objects, we're actually going to call it. So we're going to say buttons. We're going to actually display. We're going to call this function. So now we're displaying our high score buttons in our display high score objects. So let's say you make this game, you finish it, we have like 12 scripts, some random person looks at this. They're going to be able to say, oh, okay, this displays the title, this displays the high scores, and this function right here displays our buttons. Control to save, we're going to jump into Unity, and we should, when I press play, we should start in the main menu. We do. I'm going to hit high scores. You're probably wondering why did that not display what we just did? Well, I didn't actually call it in our menu GUI. So under our high scores in our if statement, we're saying if our current menu state is high scores state, then we need to do what? Well, we need to call that variable up here, this high scores functions variable, to access that function that we created called display objects. Controls to save, jump into Unity, press play. High scores, we have our play game and back button. And we can go back and forth. Look at that. Now we're not changing scenes, so we're not loading anything. It's very fast. Now the next thing, in our high scores, you can see in a second why I commented this out, this private string. So basically, we're going to want this string title, but we also are going to have a way to store our high scores. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating a save function that's just going to save high scores. It's going to be comparing. It's going to run through an array of integers, and that array is going to have the top 10 high scores, and that's what we're going to display here. So what we want to do is make a private integer array. So int your open and close brackets, and we're going to call this high scores. We'll call it saved high scores saved high scores, and we're going to set that equal to a new array, new int array of size 10. New int array. Oh, I think this is supposed to be in curly brackets. Is that correct? That doesn't seem right. I think I'm doing that wrong. Have a little brain fart. But anyway, so now we have a new array. It's called saved high scores. We're not going to be able to access that yet because we don't even have that array. We don't even have those scores anywhere. But we're going to save that for now. What we're going to do is create another function down here for our high score screen. It's going to be a private void display high score text, I guess. This is going to function. I'm just showing you guys different ways you can handle menus, by the way, because our main menu functions obviously doesn't do this detailed, but you know, if you're going to be building a bigger project, you might as well learn different ways. So we're going to display high score text. So what we want is a GUI label. It's going to take a new rect, so we'll go new rect. We'll set it 0 for now, and then it's going to take content, and we have a high score title is our content. We're also going to do another GUI.label. It's going to take a new rect, and it's going to take our high scores title, which is commented out. So we'll put that back. Oh, I don't know why I have to. We're going to say high score menu. We actually don't need that. We only need one of these GUI labels. So this function's kind of redundant. It's too much. So we're actually going to cut that. We're going to put it here under title. High score title. We change to menu title. we're going to get rid of this function that we just created. It's not needed. It's too much. We're adding 3 lines of code for 1 line. It's pointless. So under this high scores thing, this comment here, I'm going to even make a more detailed comment. And we're going to say we create, we'll say create function that looks in saved location for int array that has top 10 high scores. Display array in descending order. So that's just a note, okay? So basically, we know we need to create a function that's going to look at their save file. It's going to pull that save file and say, all right, these are our top 10 scores. Let's display them. And that's what that function is going to do, but we can't do that now because we don't have scores. We don't have any of that. So we're not going to do that for now. We'll come back to it. That's why I made a note. So now we have a working high scores button. We haven't tested our play scene, so we'll go Control S for that. We'll jump in. I'm going to go ahead and press play. If play scenes work, play game. Load scene. Okay, so now this error says load level play scene is not in the build settings. All that means is go to your file, build settings. These are the scenes in build. You need to drag and drop these. And this tells Unity that these are the scenes that are going to be in the game, and so that's how it can load it. So we're going to go to main menu. I'm going to go ahead and press play. And I'm going to hit play game. I'm going to hit high scores. I'm going to go back and hit play game, and now we're in our play scene. You can tell. You can tell that we're in the play scene because our main camera doesn't have the menu, the GUI functions anymore that we had before. So check this out. I stopped playing. In our hierarchy, I click the main camera. You can see that we're in our menu GUI. I'm going to go ahead and press play. And hit the play button. Our main camera no longer has that. We're actually in our play scene. So the game, quote unquote, the game that we're making is running right now, but you can't tell. Besides looking at the camera. So, anyways, I know I talked fast, typed fast, but we covered a lot, or a decent amount. We got the play button working. We had our high scores menu working. So next, we're probably going to move into adding some artwork. I'll probably make a little quick artwork video, me making some buttons to add to our labels, and then we're going to start jumping into gameplay. We want to start getting that down as soon as possible, because that's the fun part. Oh, here's one thing before I end. I said I was going to zero this out. I didn't even add it. So what we'll do is we'll start this at 20 from the left, 20 from the top. We'll make it 100 wide and 100 in height. Oh, not 1,000. Controls to save. We should see this menu title now when we go to high scores. That's something I completely overlooked. So go ahead and press play. We'll go to high scores. We have a high scores screen. That's where we know. What we'll do is when we actually we'll organize this better. We'll put the play game down here and back down here and play game, and then we'll display top 10 high scores in like a box. But anyways, I hope you liked the video. Hope you learned something. Like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you next time.